You don't want to be every time, no. I would like to personally welcome you to Man Hour After Dark. Say that thing. Why I bring you the host, Mike, Buck, and Cone. You know who's coming to the stage. Sports talk than what you about to hear right here. I second that. Go. You know that it's us when we talking about sports. Giving you facts on the field to the core. Tune in, we need the support. 1 hour too short, still listen some more. On all your stations, not dropping no music. Starts like Adidas, but Nike just do it. Down 4 in the 4th, we go for the win. Michael 2 seconds, we taking it in. Buck, Mike, and Combs. You know what's going on. Man, now we're After Dark, no LA. We the big spark. No 4th and inches won't cut you short. Got the best talking, it's all sports. Buzzing more than buzzer beaters. We coming live all through your speakers. Go.
And what is up, Man Hour Nation? Michael Buckheischer here with the Man Hour. Head over to manhourradio.com and you check out the new Beastie merch that is over there right now, live. Hoodies, t-shirts, beanies, tumblers, joggers. What else we got? Backpacks. Everything you could possibly want to be Beastie merched out. Guys, check it out. manhourradio.com. Beastie yourself out. It'll be fantastic. Use promo code Beastie at checkout to save you guys 10% as well. That is Beastie with a T. Nah, without a T, but with a T. BC with a T. We do got a great show for you guys. Light up tonight here. We do have the infamous Wayne G from Recast 2.0. He'll be here in about 30 minutes here on the Man Hour. There's some big news happening across the NFL. But before we get too carried away into that, we do have to welcome my right-hand man, the peanut butter to my ladies, the pickles to my jello, Mr. Brandon BC Combs. What's going on, Combsy?
What is going on, Man Hour Nation? What is going on, Michael Buckheischer? What is going on to all the veterans out there watching us right now, all across the land? Thank you for your service. Thank you for your sacrifices. Man, I gotta tell you, the peanut butter to my ladies one gets me every time. I keep waiting for you to say peanut butter to my jelly, and I'm listening. I'm like, all right, peanut butter to my ladies. Wait, what?
Yeah, you know where that's from, right?
What are you doing with your ladies?
You know where that's from, right?
No.
It is from Talladega Nights when they're doing the shake and bake thing, and then it's Will Ferrell and then the other guy, like that guy always forgets my name, but they say the guy that he is the weird guy in like the movies, right? And then like he's like when I say peanut butter, you say ladies. So yeah, it's yeah. So yeah, I freaking love that movie. So we already got some people jumping in the chat here. Of course, we got Drew as always. What's up, Drew? We got Dawn. Dawn in there tonight. What's up, Dawn? Hope you're having a great day. Glad to see you. Hey, Dawn followed me on Twitter, so I need to start trolling her on Twitter since I'm trolling everybody else.
Twitter now?
So yeah, tweet.
Oh,
and then we got Michelle. She says, "Happy Veteran Days, Combs." Yeah, happy veterans to Combs, to Tori, to Mike LeBlanc, my dad, Papa Buck. All the other veterans out there that we know true and to our hearts and like whatnot. So guys, hopefully you guys, Combs, do you do anything special on Veterans Day?
It's a little bit different every year. One thing that I definitely do, and one thing that I'm gonna share with you guys later on is a toast to all the veterans, but especially to those that never made it home. So we'll do that a little bit later on in the show here, because if I start doing shots early in the show, it might not end well for us. Yeah. But I don't do anything like it's not like I do the same routine every Veterans Day. Today Michelle and I went and saw a movie. Horrible. The new Halloween is trash. It's so bad. It's so terrible. I mean, just the act. It's terrible. Do not waste your money. Don't even bother watching it on, if you've got the Peacock app that you can watch on. Don't do it. It was god awful.
We got the Peacock cat
after that,
just
we
to simply
had
watch
lunch,
that.
So.
Yeah.
So we just went. We had lunch and then we came home. We watched some TV, and just kind of chilled and took it easy. It's like to relax. I planned on having the day off, but I went into work this morning, and then we ran into some more issues, so I ended up having to work half a day instead of having the day off. But
right,
it's part of the grind, I guess, right?
It happens when you party naked, right?
Yeah, for sure. I party naked a lot too.
So speaking of party naked and never resting here, the LA Rams, Combs, they have been on a mission from God, it seems like they are picking up everybody that they could possibly make this superstar team, and they just added Odell Beckham Jr. to their team, along with Von
And here
Miller.
comes the downfall.
Yeah, I mean, so with that being said, Combs, I mean, you kind of already alluded to what you think here, but does Odell Beckham Jr. to the Rams make the Rams better?
I don't know what the Rams are thinking here. It makes zero sense to me. I don't know why they would do this to their clubhouse. I mean, yeah, Cooper Kupp, yeah, Robert Woods. You saw Von Jefferson who was having a great year, who, by the way, I just traded for in fantasy football, and now his stock just depleted. But you bring in a guy like Odell Beckham Jr., who has been a constant headache everywhere that he's gone. He's a complete diva. And as we've talked about over the last 5 years, has just been a really overrated wide receiver. And man, I think what the Rams had going was really, really good. And when you bring a guy like this into your locker room and into your organization, I can't picture this being a good move or working out very well. I would be very, very surprised if Odell Beckham is still a Ram come playoff time.
So you are saying that Odell Beckham Jr. gets cut by the Rams by the end of the season, or the Rams don't make the playoffs at all?
Yeah, I think that Odell Beckham is he's just a head case, and at some point, because let's face it, Cooper Kupp is their number one target there, and
right.
Then you've got Robert Woods, and you've still got Von Jefferson, still a very good wide receiver. Like this made zero sense to me. I know you got a little bit deeper by adding a guy like Odell Beckham Jr., and it's kind of what was the number that he signed for? Was it something crazy like what Cam Newton did, or was it
I believe it was, I mean, like, I didn't see the numbers, but I know he was had to be offered the league minimum, which was $1.5 million.
Okay.
Because the Browns still owe him $7.5 million. So
okay,
basically he's still getting paid his $9 or $10 million a season still.
Yeah, so I just the Odell Beckham thing to me it just doesn't make sense. I mean, I know you get it for cheap. It's kind of a no lose situation. Either you get him for cheap and he performs, or you get him for cheap and you get to cut him. It just makes no sense to bring that headache into your locker room. Now, that being said, they do got some leaders on that team. You've got Matthew Stafford, who is a veteran presence at quarterback. He's the leader of that offense. You've got Cooper Kupp, who is a leader and a veteran. You've also got Von Miller, who they just added to. And Von Miller is not afraid to mix it up with somebody if they start getting stupid in the clubhouse. So maybe it does work out. This was a head scratcher. I'm really surprised he's not in New England. I really am.
Well,
I just couldn't understand why they weren't the lead for him, because they've been talking about that for a couple of years now. Odell wanting to play for Bill Belichick.
Right. Well, and that was also when Tom Brady was still there too, right? So, but I said Odell Beckham Jr. wouldn't work in New England because of Mac Jones, because we saw what Odell Beckham Jr. did to Baker. Give me the ball, give me the ball, give me the ball. And Baker started to force him, and it made Baker look very, very bad.
But see, that's the difference between the Rams and New England, right? Because if he goes to New England, he's probably the number one wide receiver if he goes to New England. I mean, they don't have any big names for one. They don't really have a number one guy in New England. I mean, they've got a lot of nice complementary pieces, which is what New England's been for the past 20 plus years. And then Tom Brady takes them to the next level. But Mac Jones has done a pretty damn good job there in New England this year too, with no name guys. So I felt like he probably would have been happier in New England, because he would have gotten a lot more looks and a lot more touches in New England. But going to the Rams, I feel like this was a bad business decision for the Rams.
Yeah, before I get to the Rams here, let me address your comments about the Patriots. What did the Patriots sell on, Combs? Short, intermediate, quick passes, right? 2 steps, boom, the ball is out. It takes Odell Beckham Jr. on average 3.7 seconds to get open every play per Football Football Reference. I just looked it up. 3.3 seconds to get, or sorry, 3.7 seconds to get open. When the ball is already out of Mac Jones' hand in 2.73 seconds, Odell Beckham Jr. is still trying to run his route. So how is he going to get more touches?
I don't think that they make their bread and butter off of quick 3-step, quick outs. They've got a pretty damn good offensive line there. I haven't looked at the numbers. I haven't looked at, what I believe their like leading receiver, I believe, is Jacoby Myers. And I don't even know if he has 500 yards receiving yet. So it's not like he's lighting things up. They base themselves off of a run game. They, I believe maybe 25 to 30 pass attempts a game for Mac Jones. And so I don't know. I just think he was a better fit for New England.
Yeah,
I just do. I mean, it just makes more sense to me for him to go to a team. And even if not New England, I mean, how about a team like Miami who could really use somebody to help Tua out?
He wants to go to a contender, not a habitual loser. Sorry, Javier.
Yeah, but I mean, look, you're not gonna contend. Do you think New England's a contender?
Oh yeah, I mean, we will talk about that here in topic number 2. But yeah, I mean, I definitely think New England is a contender, and honestly, they are probably the dark horse in the AFC on their path to the AFC Championship. Like I said, we'll really dive into that deeper here in segment 2. But yeah, I do think they are a good team.
Okay. I'm still not sold on them. I believe, they've won 3 straight, but they've won 3 straight against the, 2 of those games were against the Panthers, who are just struggling right now, and against the Jets. So, I mean, it's not like they have beaten world beaters. Their other wins this year have come against the Jets and the Texans. So, I mean, they've taken advantage of a soft front-loaded schedule, and they're still
so the Cardinals
5-4. So now they stop yourself. Stop it. I've been listening to your Cardinals hate for far too long, Buck. We will go at it about that a little bit later on for sure. But the Cleveland Browns, the Tennessee Titans, the Buffalo Bills, the Colts, the Bills again, that's going to make for a pretty good, backloaded part of the schedule.
Right.
I think that they might be able to come out of these last 8 games, maybe 4-4 and be 9-8. I think that would be a respectable record for the New England Patriots. That might get you to 7 seed, maybe the 8 seed or the 6 seed in the AFC. But you're still going to have to go up against either the Buffalo Bills or the Baltimore Ravens, or just teams that are just way better than you.
Whoa. Pause. So you are telling me that the Baltimore Ravens are better than the New England Patriots? Shut your mouth. You need to go and cleanse your palate out with that used tampon that Soup Boss called me last week. Go wash out your palate, because what had the Baltimore Ravens done in January, Combs? They won 1 game. Oh, congratulations. New England knows how to win in January. So if you give me the Patriots versus Baltimore in January in a playoff scenario, especially the Patriots on the road, I will give the Ravens 10 points and the Patriots still cover the spread.
Buck, you're making an ass out of yourself.
No, I'm not.
Are the 6-2 Ravens better than the 5-4 New England Patriots?
In the regular season, no. In the regular season, no.
By definition, the Baltimore Ravens are a better team than the New England Patriots. You can't even say in the postseason, because you haven't seen this New England Patriots team in the postseason. New England Patriots haven't made the postseason without Tom Brady, so you don't know how Mac Jones is going to do in the postseason.
He'll probably be better.
They're even going to make the postseason. But you know what you do know is that the Baltimore Ravens under Lamar Jackson are, I don't know, light years above 500. They won a playoff game last year. They're on position of, not to mention their wins this year are way better than the Patriots wins this year. I mean, they've got wins against the Chiefs, who have had a rough start. They've got wins against the Broncos, the Colts, the Chargers. So they've got better wins on.
They have wins versus all losing teams except for the Chargers. Congratulations, guys. Good job.
Oh my God. Okay, and we just talked about the New England Patriots.
Yeah.
Who's there? Give me their win against a team that's above 500.
They are going to beat the Buffalo Bills twice.
They don't have one.
At the time, I think the Panthers were.
I said, give me right now.
Panthers.
Right now, give me the Panthers were under 500.
Aren't they 5-4?
No, they're 4-5.
Okay, my bad. But back to this playoff seam here. Yes, the Patriots can beat the Ravens in the playoffs. No question in my mind. Are they going to beat the Bills? Yes, they're going to beat the Bills too. Hell, if they play the Bills in the in the playoffs, the Patriots will have 3 wins versus the Buffalo Bills this year.
I asked for give me their wins versus above 500 teams right now, and you couldn't. So you went to they're going to beat these teams in the future. Would you have no clue about who's going to win? Because we know you don't know how to predict the future in the NFL. 11-6 Detroit Lions.
I predicted that Aaron Rodgers was going to miss the game versus the Kansas City Chiefs. I predicted that Aaron Rodgers was going to no. I'm kidding. I also predicted that Kyrie Irving was going to say the world was flat 5 years ago.
God,
no,
stop it.
But like looking at the Patriots, like in hindsight. Yes, they haven't played nobody, quote, tough, right? But they played the Jets. The Jets were kind of starting to roll there. They were starting to click a little bit, right? And then also, It's still a division game. So we know when you're playing the division,
it's still the Jets.
It's still a division game. It can be the 0-16 Chicago Bears and the 0-16 Detroit Lions, and they're still going to play each other very, 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 very well, right? Haven't
the New England Patriots beat the Jets in like 19 straight games?
It was something like that, yeah.
So much for divisional games. It's still divisional. No,
but,
it's still the Jets.
But they're all close. I think they've only been blown out like maybe twice.
54-13.
Yeah, but like that's once this year, and I think they blew them out like in Tom Brady's like early life. But the Jets always play them well for whatever reason.
They beat them 25-6 and 54-13 this year. They've blown them out twice this year.
25-6 is a blowout? What are you, a Cardinals fan?
25-6? You don't think a 19-point win in the NFL is a blowout?
No, I don't think 25-6 is a blowout at all.
A 19-point game is not a blowout.
It's a three-score
game. Yeah, is not a blowout?
No. Come on, man.
Oh boy.
I've seen teams score three times in 3 minutes.
Buck, I know I was away for 2 days, but we need to talk about your usage when I'm not on the show.
Yeah, I got pretty sloshed last night. I'm not gonna lie. Sorry, guys.
Your habits are starting to affect your opinions.
So my man Alpha Rob, shout out to Big Alpha Rob there. He says you're my guy, Buck. But damn, you're drunk. No, I'm not drunk. I'm not drunk yet. I promise you guys that. And then Drew wants to come at me and said, Buck, did you start hitting the sauce early today? I was off all day. We've been setting up Christmas trees. So let me ask you this question. Totally off base. Let's take that left turn into Christmas zone, Combs. How many Christmas trees do you guys normally set up in your house?
1.
We have 2 in every fucking room.
Why? First of all,
exactly.
Wait, no, stop. Why? But when's Thanksgiving?
2 weeks away?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So why do you have Christmas trees set up already?
Combs, because I got this ring on my finger, and this means happy wife, happy life, right? And my wife wanted to set Christmas up in July. So, yeah.
Fuck.
Sorry.
Oh, man.
Back to the chat here.
I've lost so much respect.
Yeah, and Michelle said I would like one in my room too. So looks like you're gonna have a couple in your room there, Combs.
Michelle, you can certainly have one in your room. Your room is now upstairs, and you can stay there until January when we take down the Christmas stuff. And there will not be a Christmas tree in our damn bedroom.
And Alpha Rob says, "Whoa, Buck, slow down." I think he's talking about the Patriots there. I mean, like, guys, Maybe I've been talking to Wayne G way too much because obviously he is a Patriots guy, right? He's the Patriots fan, and I think he said that he was going to the Patriots were going to win the division, right? Did I hear that right? Okay, yeah. So I mean, maybe I've been drinking the Wayne G sauce too much here.
Look, Wayne G is he's like every New England Patriots fan, right? Living on the fact that they've been good for 20 plus years and can't accept the fact that they're just not going to be that team for probably another, 3 to 4 years. I'll give Mac Jones, probably by his 5th year, he'll be ready to lead that team to maybe be a real contender.
Speaking of 5 years in the league here, you know what I said last week, Combs, or this week? I said that Kyler Murray would be a bust after year 6, that he would do his 5-year contract and he would never sign a mega deal, simply because of the fact that he's 5'8", and when your athletic ability starts to diminish, you can no longer roll the pocket, you can no longer use your athletic ability to get the ball down the field and all that good stuff. And there's been so much hate in the comments, rightfully so. They're calling Kyler Murray now K1.
Buck.
All you K1 fans, you guys, listen.
Buck.
You can tell me
Kyler
all these stats.
Murray,
he's not.
Kyler Murray has completed 72% of his passes this year, nearly 73% of his passes this year.
Cool.
He's thrown for almost 2,300 yards in 8 games.
Okay. Congratulations.
17 touchdowns in 8 games.
Okay. So he is on pace for, what's that, 34 touchdowns. Okay. Awesome. He is on pace for, 4,500 yards. Awesome. He might be an MVP candidate. Awesome. Year 6, when he can't roll the pocket, when he can't scramble because he can't see over a 6-foot lineman or 6'5" lineman, then come talk to me.
What do you think he's doing? Shrinking?
Yeah.
He's seeing over the lineman now?
He's rolling the pocket every play.
He's rolling the pocket. Why do you have such hatred for the Arizona Cardinals?
It is not hate.
What is wrong with the Arizona Cardinals?
It is not hate. It is realism.
The Arizona Cardinals bandwagon since before the season. I told you this team was the real deal. I picked them to be 15-2 this year.
Yeah.
They went out last week without DeAndre Hopkins or Kyler Murray and won that game too.
Against the crappy 49ers that had injuries too. Come on, man.
On the road, Buck.
So?
On the road.
Apparently
it doesn't matter what injuries it's
It matters to me, Holmes.
It makes no sense.
It matters to me.
You make I know it matters to you, but it like you've got to at least make sense.
It does make sense.
It don't make no sense.
So okay, so let's look at people that are like Kyler Murray's status. Let's throw Michael Vick out there, right? Michael Vick was what, probably 6'2"-ish, 6 foot, maybe. I don't know how tall he was. Either way, he was taller than him, right? What did Michael do after his athletic ability started to break down? He became a pocket quarterback, right? Was he an MVP candidate when he was a pocket quarterback? Was he leading his team to the playoffs when he became a pocket quarterback? How about this?
What are we talking about now?
Michael Vick.
Dude, Michael Vick became a pocket quarterback after spending 2 years in prison.
No. That was before that.
No, it was not. He was still setting the league on fire, and then he went to prison.
Either way, he became a pocket quarterback, and then he was not a starter anymore. Like, that's what's going to happen to Kyler Murray, too. Drew says we're beating a dead horse. Yeah, we are. Beat it. But back to the Odell Beckham Jr. thing here.
But that's all you do is beat it, apparently, and you drink your own juice afterwards because this stuff is nuts, man. Like, I don't know what the hell you're talking about. How the hell you could look at what Kyler Murray is doing and say, oh, well, 3 years from now, he's going to be terrible. What? From what evidence, Buck? Other than just your stuttering nonsense that the Arizona Cardinals aren't good and you want to hold on to this thing. You held on to it as long as you could with the Detroit Lions. I know they're 0-6, but they're about to make a run. And now they're 0-8, so there's no chance they're going to win as many games as you said. So then you finally jumped off the bandwagon. Now the Arizona Cardinals are 8-1, and you're like, oh, they're not that good.
Hey,
they're not that good. What?
You were here for Kevo, right? You were here for Cavo.
I was here on my
Their record might be 0-8, 0-9. They're still 11-win team. Their team is a 11-win team. Their record may not reflect it, but they're an 11-win team still.
That's not what he said. Don't put words in that man's mouth. That is not what he said. That is not what he said.
Guys, let's go to break. We got the infamous Wayne G coming up here after the break with That's Debatable. Be sure to follow Wayne G at Repod or what I wrote it down here. Let me find it.
Recast. Recast.
Well, it's what is it? What is it? I don't even know where it's at.
Recast Pod.
Yeah, Recast Pod on Twitter. There you go. My bad. Recast Pod.
I told you 3 times.
I don't listen to you half the time. You know that. God, we'll be right back, guys.
You sound like a re-something pod right now.
I don't get it. Can you explain that to me?
Nope. Go to break.
and Siding. Contact them at 812-868-7663 or online at brooksroofingin.com. Brooks Roofing and Siding, protection you need when nature strikes.
And what is up, Man Hour Nation? Welcome back to the Man Hour. Michael Buckeister here with Brandon Combs tonight. Head over to manhourradio.com and check out the Beastie merch that just dropped there. Use promo code Beastie at checkout to save yourself 10%. Drew, if you keep your bad mouth up there in the chat, I'm going to have to block you, Drew. Drew, you know what Drew just said there, Combs? He says, you know what? For hating the guy so much, you're sounding more and more like Stephen A. Smith every day. Wow.
I'm with Drew.
You know what? You know who is not like Stephen A. Smith, Combs?
Who's that?
That's our man, Wayne G. And he is on for us tonight. What's going on, Wayne?
Not too much, man. Always glad to be on. It's Thursday.
It is
One
Thursday.
more day till the weekend, right?
You know, for me, the weekend started Wednesday because I didn't work today. I'll probably call in sick work tomorrow. No, I'm totally kidding. But yeah, I mean, definitely one more day to the weekend, and that gives us some chance to listen to your Recasted podcast. So you guys be sure to follow Wayne at Recasted Podcast on the Twitter machine. So, but Wayne, tell us a little bit that is about.
Yeah, Recast a Podcast. It's a pop culture, basically it's a movie podcast. And what we do is we take movies that are at least 20 years old, we throw them into 2021 and we recast them with a modern cast, you know, and then afterwards you can vote on whose cast is better, mine or Jesse's. It's always mine. And, or if we have guests on, sometimes we have guests, you can vote on those as well. And most recently we did Back to the Future. So we recasted Back to the Future with our friends, the Field of Screens podcast. That was a fun one, 4 different casts. And definitely check it out on Good Pods. You'd mentioned it before the break, but Good Pods is where it's at because basically, you know, most of these like iTunes and whatnot, you can only rate a show on 5 stars, but Good Pods lets you rate every single episode. So like maybe you like a certain show, but they put out a crappy episode. Hey, it happens. You know, give them 1 star for that episode, but give them 5 for the rest.
Yeah, and I know last week you were ranked 7th out of all of the what was it? It was the after like what was the ranking on it again?
Yeah, it's after podcasting. There's just after shows.
Oh, yeah,
after shows podcast.
Yeah, so
this,
7th. Yeah.
Yeah, this week we are number 1 in the country.
Oh, there you go. So, guys,
That's awesome.
From Man Hour Nation, guys, go over to Good Pods and keep Wayne G up there at the number 1 spot because we know that the New England Patriots are heading up to the number 1 spot, and Wayne G wants to be there along with the Patriots. So, big shout out to you there, Wayne. So, Wayne, you always give us great topics. You give us That's Debatable. And tonight, what's your first topic?
Well, it's a great segue. We mentioned the Patriots because I know in our group chat we were kind of chatting about it, and you said let's save that for a debatable segment. And basically, what it was, if you guys follow the show, and hopefully you do, right? Then you know that me and Brandon had a little bit of a bet before the season started. I said the Patriots were going to go 11-6 and win the division, and Brandon said if that happens, he will spin the wheel of death twice. And I know that we're almost halfway through the season. I got a chance maybe to back out of this thing, but I'm going to say it again. They're going to go 11-6 and win the division. The Bills are on the way down. The Patriots are on the way up. Book it.
Look, you know, Buck started this segment by saying that you're nothing like Stephen A. Smith. But there is one thing that you're like Stephen A. Smith about. You always think you're right, even when you're wrong. and right now, you're wrong. They are 5-4. So you think they're going to go at least 6-2 down the home stretch here with this schedule that they have? I don't see it. I mean, I see losses versus the Browns this week. I see a loss versus the Titans, 2 losses versus the Bills. So and probably a loss versus the Colts. So I think 4-4 down the stretch would be a good run for them. But you know that's about where I would see them at the most, 9-8.
Yeah, I mean, as far as 11 wins, that is a little bit of a stretch just because they do play some pretty talented teams here. I mean, they're obviously playing the Browns. The Browns are a lot better without Odell Beckham Jr. They do play the Bills twice. Just what like I agree with you, Wayne. The Bills are kind of on like this kind of downward trend. Will they get back up?
They had one bad week.
Yeah, but they just haven't been playing well. They
didn't show up against the Jaguars. They were in Jacksonville. They went out and partied in Jacksonville, Florida for a couple of days. They're in Buffalo, New York, where there's nothing to do, and they went to Jacksonville, Florida for a week.
Yeah,
they didn't show up for a game. It happens.
Either way, they are still trending down. I do totally agree with that. On Wayne, but the big wild card game that I have circled is the Titans because we don't know if the Titans are going to be where they're at now or if they're going to come back down to where they should be, and that's a 500 team, especially without King Henry.
And Wayne, do you know the biggest reason why I know you're wrong? Because Buck is siding with you on your football takes, and his football takes are garbage.
Well, hold on. I didn't say they were going to get 11 wins. I see.
No, you said the Bills are trending down, though.
Yeah, but I see at 9 or 10 wins. I mean, like 11 is a stretch because they do play the Colts, Bills twice, and the Titans and the Browns. So,
well, this is the way I looked at it. I looked at their remaining schedule. Like you said, they're 5-4. Their upcoming schedule is the Browns, who at their very best are average. And you've got Baker Mayfield, who has not earned a contract extension, going up against Bill Belichick and that defense, which is just nightmarish right now, and nightmarish in a good way. And then Matthew Judon's probably going to have 3 sacks against this team. And then you got the Falcons, which basically it's a college team. And then you got the Titans without King Henry, which I don't believe in Ryan Tannehill, so I think that's another win. So there's 3 wins in a row. I think they split with the Bills this season, so let's give them that one. So now we're 9-4 going into the last 4 games of the season, so they have to split against the Colts, the Bills, the Jaguars, and the Dolphins. The Jaguars and Dolphins are locks. So that's 11-4. And even if they lose the other 2 games, that's 11-6. And I think the Bills don't finish 11-6, and I think the Patriots win that division.
You know who else thought that the Titans were not very good and weren't believers in Ryan Tannehill? The Los Angeles Rams, who lost 28-16 to Tennessee Titans this week. So look, you can count them out all you want. Buck's been counting them out even with King Henry. The Tennessee Titans are a good football team, and they're better than the New England Patriots. I mean, there's I would say out of those remaining 8 games, you name 2 teams that are better that the New England Patriots are better than.
Well, I will say that if the Titans allow Adrian Peterson to carry a switch with him, and the Patriots put out a bunch of 2-year-olds, then the Titans might win that game.
Fair enough.
Wow. So
Fair enough.
there are some comments rolling through here, guys. Drew says, I see them making the playoffs, but no championship. Wayne, do you have them winning a playoff game, the Patriots?
I think it depends on the first round matchup. At 11-6, they're going to be the division champions, but they're not going to get that first round bye. I think that there's probably going to be an AFC team that'll be better and they'll get the bye, so they're going to have to play that first week. I think it depends on who they play. I think that there are teams they could be. I don't have them in the Super Bowl. I mean, I don't think that they're that good, but I do think that they're going to have to win the division, maybe Super Bowl next year.
If they would play the
Have you
Ravens in
seen
the
the-
playoffs, can they beat the Baltimore Ravens in the playoffs?
Could they beat the Ravens in the playoffs? Shane?
Yeah.
They could. I wouldn't bet on it. Like if I was betting my own money, I probably wouldn't bet on it, but it would be a close game. I don't think Baltimore steamrolls that Patriots team because that defense is so stout.
Have you seen the Bills' back end of the schedule? They do play the Patriots twice, but they've got the Jets twice as well. They've got the Colts, they've got
Very
the
good Jets
Panthers,
team.
and they've got the Falcons. Like, it's
But-
not a very tough back end of the schedule.
But aren't the Bills 5-3 right now as well?
Yep, they're 5-3. The Patriots
Yeah,
are
they're
5-4.
5-3.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
really just the Patriots just have to win one more game than the Bills. I mean, so I have faith in that.
Okay, good luck with that.
And then Alpha Rob says that the Bills were all business at practice this week. I don't care. I mean, you're supposed to be all business.
Oh, yeah.
It's like,
And
talk
let's
about
face it, Wayne
practice.
G, you're not gonna have to spin the wheel of death because Bucko's like 7 spins on that thing, so he's yet to create it.
yeah, no, we will create it soon. And then Alpha Rob says the Pats are not winning division. That's
hell
all he
he's wrong.
said. Drew says Wayne's World, party on.
All right,
And-
so why? Like, I don't know. All right, let's get to the segment because I can go
No,
on this
one
Bills
more
thing
comment
all
here.
night
One
long.
more comment. Alpha Rob says Mac Jones is not good enough to beat the Bills defense. What?
Yeah, he's wrong about that too. Man, this guy,
What?
Alvin Rob, he's wrong a lot, huh? No, yeah, that Mac Jones is the real deal. He gets better every week, just like that defense, because he learns more and more and more every week as he goes along. I actually am kind of referring to him as Brady 2.0, and that might sound sacrilegious because obviously Brady's got 6 Super Bowl championships or 7, whatever it is. So I'm not saying career-wise, obviously, but when you look at Brady his rookie year versus Mac his rookie year, Mac is so much far more advanced than Brady was. And he's still going to be coached by the same coach, and he's still going to have Brady's best offensive coordinator ever as his offensive coordinator and eventual head coach. So
Those are great
I think
points.
he's got a good career ahead of him.
All right. So before Combs calls
my
the
God.
911, Michelle, get the speed dial ready. Wayne, what's topic number 2?
Well, this kind of segues into topic number 2, which is, and I said this also before the season, but I'll say it again. The Buffalo Bills should not have given Josh Allen an extension. They should have let him play out the season on his rookie deal and then given him an extension after, if he earns it, which we'll see how it goes the rest of the year, but he did not deserve a $254 million extension.
Combs?
I mean, I don't know what you're watching. That shows that he doesn't deserve an extension. I've watched him play over, the course of his career so far. He's been pretty damn good. And even this year, he's been pretty damn good. Yes, they're 5-3. Yes, they had a bad game last week. Yes, they lost to the Jacksonville Jaguars. I get it. But the guy's still completing 65% of his passes this year. He's got 2,236 yards passing through 8 games. And he's got 17 touchdowns to 5 interceptions through 8 games. So I don't know what you're seeing from Josh Allen that shows, hey, you weren't worth the extension. But I mean, I'm a Bears fan. I know what a quarterback that doesn't deserve an extension looks like, and that is not Josh Allen. So I don't get it. I don't understand why you would think Josh Allen didn't deserve an extension. Josh Allen is doing everything he needs to do for the Buffalo Bills to win football games. He's doing everything that he needs to do for the Buffalo Bills to still be the best team in the AFC East. Now, when your defense is doing their job, which they did not do in their last two loss. Oh, I'm sorry, in their loss against the Titans, but they did do it last week against the Jaguars, which they held them to 9 points, but you only scored 6. Your offense had a bad week. Josh Allen had one bad week. That offense had one bad week. This is still an offense that was scoring at a ridiculous pace all season long up until that game. You're talking 23, 35, 43, 40, 38, 34, and 26 before that 9-6 loss. You're right. I mean, those are god-awful numbers. He didn't deserve an extension. I don't know. I give up. You and Buck should do a show called Worst Football Takes of All Time.
And it would probably be a hit because, you know, we're like, without you on it, we're always trending up. I'm totally kidding. I love you, big guy. But with that being said,
we know that's false.
As I don't think Josh Allen really deserved the $240 million extension that he got. He definitely deserved an extension just because we live in a world right now where the next quarterback up is going to be the next highest paid quarterback. So it is almost a benefit to these teams to have signed their guy long-term before the next guy signs, right? So it would have been smart for the Ravens to sign Lamar Jackson to a long-term extension last season. It would have been smarter for the Cardinals to sign Kyler Murray year 2 to a longer extension, right? Just so they're not having to pay these guys $100 million, $200 million, $300 million. It just, the salary cap is going to go, or sorry, the quarterback salaries are just going to keep going up and up and up. So it was smart for them to sign him, but I don't think he deserved that much right off the bat.
So, and I'm gonna actually say that's an incredibly smart take, because I actually didn't consider that, in the sense that when I was looking at it, I wasn't saying that they shouldn't ever give Josh Allen an extension. I was just saying they shouldn't have given it to him after year 3, because he had one good year. You know, I was saying he had 2 really not great years, then a good year, and then you give him $254 million, like he had 4 great years in a row.
Right.
So I was like, wait one more year. Let's see what he does this year, then offer the extension. But Buck, that's a humongously great point, which is if they wait, Lamar signs that extension first. Now they're paying $300, not $240. So maybe it was smart to sign that extension when they did.
Wow, that's a first.
Any
follow-up, Combs?
No, I mean, I watched the play, I watched the eye test, I watched what I'm looking at on the field, and everything tells me that you absolutely give Josh Allen that contract extension, because you need to lock him up. It makes no sense. After this year, with the numbers that he's putting up, with the way the offense is scoring, I mean, you can point all you want. Yeah, I mean, because right now your take looks so good because they're 5-3 and the Patriots are 5-4. And the fact that, you know, they just went out and put up a dud against the Jacksonville Jaguars. But take that Jacksonville game out of there. They're the highest scoring team in the damn league. Josh Allen is still completing 65% of his passes and still is thrown for 2,200 plus yards in 8 games. Well, 17-5 touchdown to interception ratio. You're still going to give him an extension at the end of the year? Possibly. Right? I mean, stop. Tell me who you're going to bring in that's better than Josh Allen at the end of the year.
Mitchell Trubisky.
No, if it depends on how he plays this year. Yes, at the end of this year, if he continues on this trend, yes, you're going to give him an extension. I'm not disagreeing with you. I'm not saying don't give him an extension like you shouldn't have given Derrick Henry.
That was the whole topic, was they shouldn't have given him an extension.
Exactly. They shouldn't have given it to him after year 3. They should have waited until after year 4 and then see what he does in year 4, because year 3 might have been a fluke. You know, let's put it in baseball terms because you mildly understand that sport. Let's say a guy goes out there and hits 2 home runs his rookie year, 5 home runs his second year, and then 40 his third year. Do you want to give him a $125 million contract as a GM, or do you want to see him do another year?
First of all, it's a completely different sport. That's a completely crazy different scenario. Josh Allen has been good since his rookie year.
52%?
again, he's been good since his rookie year. You watch the things, you watch how he's grown, and he's been good since his rookie year. Then if you want to go to baseball standards, a guy goes 5'3" and then 40. Well, I might give him an extension, but at the same time, I might wait to see if he pops on his piss test. That's the difference between that. Like it's a completely different scenario. What else is he doing? Is he striking out a lot? Is he getting good at bats? Is he doing the how does he as a defender? Like those are the things that I'm looking at. But it's a completely different sport, completely different scenario. You absolutely give Josh Allen that extension after last season, 100%.
And I agree with you, Combs, because he was cheap then. Next year he's going to be expensive or cheaper.
That too.
Yeah, cheaper, I guess. Wayne G, next one.
Yeah, so this one's a basketball one, so you guys might be out of the water on it, but it is topical because they were talking about Ben Simmons and how the Celtics were interested in Ben Simmons, and that the Celtics would have to part with Jaylen Brown if they wanted to get him, which makes sense. If you're the Sixers, you're not giving him up for Marcus Smart. You're giving him up for something decent. Here's my take, and I've had this take now for the last 3 years or 4 years. Some people are starting to get on the bandwagon with me, but I'm definitely driving it. So nobody try to say they claimed this first. Jaylen Brown is better than Jason Tatum. What is with all the love with Jason Tatum? He's okay. He's good. He's a good sidekick to Jaylen Brown, but everyone's making it out like he's the next Kobe. The guy's okay. He's a sidekick.
So I'll go first. I don't know a lot about baseball by any means, but I do watch college basketball.
It's basketball, Buck. It's basketball, not baseball.
And Jason Tatum was a pretty good college basketball player. And when was it last year or 2 years ago when he had those couple big shots in the playoffs versus the 76ers and in game 6 or game 7? I can't remember for sure, but I kind of feel like Jason Tatum kind of has that Odell Beckham Jr. effect. Like he had one big play, one big series, right? And then all of a sudden we're talking about he's the greatest thing to walk this earth. So no, Jason Tatum I think is highly overrated. However, Jaylen Brown does miss a lot of dunks at the on wide open dunks. So would you rather miss wide open dunks or wide open threes at the end of the day, right Wayne?
Look, I'm the Jaylen Brown Jason Tatum thing. To me, you can kind of flip a coin. I mean, Jason Tatum does average more rebounds, does average more assists than Jaylen Brown, and averages about the same amount of points as Jaylen Brown. But he's also played in more games this year than Jaylen Brown. So I think you can kind of flip a coin there between Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown. The one thing I'm with you on is you don't bring in Ben Simmons. You do. It's the same thing that I just talked about with OBJ. Why would you want to bring that guy into your locker room? Why would you want to bring that guy into your clubhouse when you are already a good basketball team, when you are already a playoff caliber team, when you are already a top 5 caliber type team in the East? There is no reason for the Celtics to bring in that guy because he is not going to do you better than anything that you're going to give up, unless you're giving up maybe a Marcus Smart.
No, I agree with that. I'm glad that Buck brought up, would you rather miss the dunk or the three-pointer? Well, what if I said that Jaylen Brown is shooting 50% from the field and 40% from 3, and Tatum is shooting 39% from the field and 33% from 3? So basically, Brown makes more dunks and more three-pointers.
Yeah.
And then as far as with Brandon saying, I don't think you bring in Ben Simmons if you're the Celtics. I'm not saying that Ben Simmons doesn't fit on a team. I think that he does. But
really?
Yeah, of course. I mean, the guy's a super, super all-world talent. But I think that you've got to...
But he's a headache. Do you really bring that into your locker room?
Right now, he's a headache. There was a time when Kobe Bryant was a headache, and I would bring him into my locker room every single night. Now, I'm not saying that Ben Simmons is Kobe Bryant, but I'm saying that I don't weigh the attitude as 100% of my decision. His talent is so ridiculous. He's 7 feet tall. He's a point guard. He can do it all. He's basically a better version of Lonzo Ball, and he plays defense, he's like an all NBA defense player. So, he's a guy that you want on your team. He's like 22 years old or 23 years old too. So you got to find a team that he's happy to be with. And I think that he'll be fine.
Why'd you have to come after my 8-3 Bulls and go after Alonzo like that? Why?
I'm a Lonzo fan. That's why I compare him to Lonzo.
The Bulls are looking good, man. I'm actually watching basketball again, Wayne. The Bulls are looking good, man.
I'm surprised. I didn't think DeRozan and
I know a lot of people
Levine,
didn't
Zach
think they
Levine,
were
we're
going to be
gonna
able
match.
to distribute the ball and score as well as they're scoring. I mean, I'm a little concerned with Vuk going down with COVID right now, but that this team is good and they look good right now.
It also still is November. Basketball doesn't start for them till May. So
You shut your mouth, Buck. This is the first time the Bulls have been good in years.
they weren't they 8-3 last year? Like at this time?
No,
Whatever.
they were like 3-8 at this time last year.
Wayne, do we got the next topic, man?
Yeah, I got one more for you. Again, we're going to stick with movies because that's my thing, right? And this is actually an argument that I got into on the Twitterverse, and that was about another podcast had done a recasting of Lord of the Rings. But what they did is they took Lord of the Rings and they put it in 1984. And so they're recasting it in 84. And I was like, okay. I said, well, you know what? Off the top of my head, Bilbo Baggins has got to be Dudley Moore. I mean, it's a shoe-in slam dunk, you know, that he would be it. And they responded to me, who's Dudley Moore? And I was like, are you kidding me? Like, you shouldn't be recasting anybody. You shouldn't have a podcast about movies because here's my hot take. If it is a hot take, Dudley Moore is one of the top 10 actors of the 80s.
Wow.
I mean, like I like Dudley Moore. I was a big Dudley Moore fan growing up. Like I like a lot of his movies that he was in were some of my favorite movies to watch. But I don't know anything about Lord of the Rings, so I don't know if Dudley Moore would fit good in Lord of the Rings.
That's
but
right,
Dudley Moore would probably fit good in any movie you put him in. He was a really good actor. He could be funny. He could be serious. He was a really good actor. For me, he was Will Smith before Will Smith. You know what I mean? Like the guy who could play in any role and just make it a good movie. And so I'm a big Dudley Moore fan. So you're probably right there. I mean, you could probably put Dudley Moore in any role, in any of the roles in Lord of the Rings, though I've never seen it. I bet you he would play a good part.
The hot take was, is Dudley Moore one of the top 10 actors of the 80s?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Absolutely. 100%.
Yeah. I think it's not even really debatable, right?
No.
You know, that's a little bit before my time. So, I mean, I know you guys.
Not. You grew up in the 80s.
I did not grow up. I wasn't even born yet.
Buck, you're like 44.
Okay. My hairline might be 44, but
I was just going to say, take off your hat. You're like 44.
No, but name me a movie that like he was in, like maybe something like rings a bell.
Well, Arthur, 1981. They remade it with what's his name, the British actor there. I can't think of his name. Russell Brand. They remade it with Russell Brand, but Arthur Dudley Moore was the original in 81. He was in Mickey and Maude. That was a big 80s film. He was in 10 with Bo Derek, which they make a reference to in Tommy Boy. He's like, Dad, she's like a 10. And then he was in a movie I really liked in the 80s. It was called Like Father, Like Son with Kirk Cameron. It's kind of one of those body swapping ones.
Yeah, never seen any of those. So I have.
Oh my God. He was in the original Santa Claus, the movie.
Oh yeah, Santa Claus, the movie. He was the elf.
The original Santa Claus, like with like
no,
Tim,
not Tim Allen. That's the Santa Claus.
Way before Tim Allen.
Yeah, it had John Lithgow in it.
Fuck.
Guys, I lack in movies. Let's just be honest. I need to listen to Recast 2.0 a lot more to jump up on my movie knowledge.
Have you ever seen the Alice's Adventures in Wonderland? The one from the 70s?
No, sure haven't. I've seen the Wizard of Oz because that's a Kansas thing.
I give up. I give up with this guy. I don't know what else to do with you.
Well, wasn't there like a new Alice in Wonderland with the dude? What's his name?
Johnny Depp.
Depp.
They did two of them.
Huh. Interesting.
They're not bad. They're all right. I mean, the cartoon's still the standard.
Hey, Wayne, this is a question for you from Alpha Rob. He says, "Hey guys, would you like better Jason Voorhees or Michael Myers?"
Jason Voorhees.
Yeah, I mean,
I'm sorry.
They're very similar. I mean, we're talking Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown, right? So they're very similar, and they both can't die, right? They're both kind of slashers. I mean, I'm glad he didn't put Freddy Krueger in there because then it's Freddy Krueger hands down because he can get in your mind and just mess you up from inside.
Yeah.
But as far as just being slashers, I mean, that's really tough. I would probably take Jason Voorhees just on the physicality. Like, he's a stronger person. Like, he'll throw you across a room, whereas I don't think Michael Myers has that strength. So that's the one advantage I guess I'll give Jason.
Well, Michael Myers' big thing was his strength. Like he's a very strong guy. He crushes people's heads with his hands and stuff like that. But I have a bad taste in my mouth for Michael Myers right now because I just went today to see the new Halloween movie, and it was the first time that I've ever gone to a movie at a movie theater and wanted to leave halfway through. It was terrible. It was so bad. I was so disappointed because it's one of my favorite horror series of all time is Halloween, and I was excited to see it, and it just completely disappointed me. Have you seen it yet, Wayne?
I'm not a horror fan. So for me, in order for me to watch a horror movie, it has to be like an exceptional movie. It can't be like just like a bunch of jump scares like Insidious or something like that. It has to be like an actual psychological thriller. So the last
13
one,
Ghosts.
Well, the last one I really saw that was good was Saw. Saw I thought was, but that's
Saw
even
was
not
really good, yeah.
that's not even really a horror though either. That's more like a psychological thing.
Yeah.
And then before that it was probably the Blair Witch Project, which I know gets a lot of people make fun of that, but I mean, 3 kids in college who made $155 million. It was just a genius idea. And then before that, probably Nightmare on Elm Street. The first Nightmare on Elm Street was just insanely good. But yeah, usually I don't really get into the whole horror genre. It's got to like maybe Sixth Sense, if you consider that a horror, kind of in that sense.
Yeah, it's more of another thriller type movie. I would say. So you didn't like 13 Ghosts?
No, that's the one with the girl from American Pie, isn't it? Right?
I'm trying to think. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, that's the one where they've got like all the ghosts there in like these cubes and stuff like that, and they can't get out, and then somebody lets them out, and all of a sudden they're in this mansion trying to kill people. I thought it was pretty good.
Somebody always lets them out.
Yeah.
Alpha Rob asked if you guys have you guys seen Orphan?
I haven't.
No.
No.
Was it good?
I don't know. Ask him.
I might have to see that.
So Wayne, obviously we all like to watch movies here on the weekend. And Friday nights, me and my wife are starting this movie watching binge. Give me a movie to watch for the weekend.
I just watched Free Guy. It was really fun. So if you like Ryan Reynolds kind of comedy, it's a really fun movie. I watched it. Obviously, he's an NPC in a video game, and he kind of starts to get self-awareness like AI. And if you like Ryan Reynolds funny, like he's funny, but without the Deadpool mask and without all the F-bombs.
Oh, what is it on Hulu or Netflix or anything or like that? Or
I thought it was on Disney Plus, but I'm not 100% sure.
And it's called Free Man, huh?
Free Guy.
Oh, Free Guy. Okay, I will definitely check that out. Before we let you go, though, Wayne, tell people about your show again.
Recasted Podcast at Recasted Podcast on Twitter. We take movies that are 20 years old, we recast them. So throw us some ideas. I mean, we're always looking for the next one. The Green Mile would be fun. Somebody asked us about Heat. That'd be kind of fun. So if you have a movie that you'd say, hey, I'd really love to see how you guys would recast this today, shoot it over.
How about you recast
Wayne,
The Longest Yard?
Well, they just did that though, like a few years ago.
Yeah, do it again with like Henry Ruggs.
Wayne, Wayne, you've got to step your game up though, buddy. Because I say a lot on this show. I get mad when people make me defend like players that aren't my favorite, and I've been on Team Jesse for like the last 5 episodes. Like he is killing it right now, man. He does really well with these recasted.
Yeah, Jesse knows what people want to see. Whereas if you listen to the podcast, my reasoning is so much better.
Oh, okay.
All right, guys. So be sure to check out Recasted Podcast 2.0 on Good Pods, and definitely be sure to give him a ranking as well, guys. We're up against the next break. We'll be right back of Would You Rather right after the break, guys. We'll be right back. This is must-see TV. All righty, Wayne. Thanks, buddy.
You like that? You're not even doing a sports podcast.
Joe Burrow is going to be must-watch TV. Other than the divisional games, I would circle that Week 5 game against the Green Bay Packers. That could be a game I can absolutely see the Cincinnati Bengals hanging in there. Maybe even bringing this game to overtime. That could be a fun one to watch. Burrows versus Rodgers, the future versus the current, and then you look at games like against the New York Jets in Week 8. That's another one. Look, I know a lot of people are like, what do you mean the Jets? Look, I like what's going on in New York. I like Zach Wilson. I like Robert Saleh. I think that team is going to start to change its culture, and I think it started with Robert Saleh and it continued with the draft of Zach Wilson. I think they're going to be a better team, so this could actually be a really fun game to watch. in Week 8. So those would be the 2 games, outside of the divisional games that I would absolutely circle.
Yeah, so the game that I have circled, the biggest game of the season, is a division game, unfortunately, but is that Week 7 game, is when the Bengals go into Baltimore. They play Lamar Jackson and the Ravens. I think this is a statement game for Cincinnati. They are going to go into Baltimore and they are going to beat them. Let's say 17-14 as the final score to that game. But I think this is where we see Joe Burrow kind of put the staple on the whole NFL. It's like, hey, don't overlook me. Yeah, you have Herbert. Yeah, you have Trevor and Zach and like all those and Baker and Patty, but don't overlook me. I am here to stay. I am here to rock this division and rock the AFC as a whole. And with that being said, I do have them going 7-10 this year, but simply because they do kind of have a stunner of a schedule. I mean, they obviously do play the Ravens twice. They play the Steelers twice, obviously. But the out of division games is rough. They play the Chiefs, they play the Chargers, they play the 49ers, the Ravens. Heck, they even play a good Green Bay team. So, I mean, that is the only reason why I have them 10 losses on the year, but I do have them going 7-10.
Yeah, I have them at 8-9. I have them right around there.
Check the mic and make sure it sound right, boys.
And welcome back to the Man Hour, guys. Michael Buckheist along with Brandon Combs tonight. If you'd be most inclined, hit that like button, hit the subscribe button along with the bell icon. If you watch us here at youtube.com/Man Hour. Also, if you watch us on facebook.com/Man Hour Sports Talk, hit that like button, share button as well. It helps us grow. It helps us interact with you guys more. And you know what, guys? Don't hit the like button. Hit the dislike button. Join the crowds. Hit those dislike buttons, and maybe one day we will urge you guys to God's trust to win over some likes. So with that being said, guys, we are on Good Pods as well. Look for Man Hour Sports Talk on Good Pods. You have to download the application on iOS or Android devices and subscribe to us and leave us a ranking as well. We would like to join that Wayne G love and get up to the #1 sports talk show, because we are the best damn sports talk show on the airways. And it's time for Would You Rather. So, Combs, tell the people what Would You Rather is all about.
We are the best damn sports radio show on the planet. Not just on the airwaves, on the entire freaking planet. Period. Would You Rather is just, what Would You Rather is. You guys know this by now. It's just that game you used to always play when you were kids, right? Would you rather this or would you rather that? So, Buck, are you ready?
Dude, you know what? I've been thinking about it. I've been going back and forth. And yeah, I'm always ready, man. I was born ready, brother.
All right. So, keeping in spirits of our last conversation that we just had with Wayne G, would you rather be Josh Allen, the quarterback, or Josh Allen, the defensive end, over the next 5 years? We saw Josh Allen, the defensive end, got the best of Josh Allen, the quarterback, this past week.
Yeah. So, I'm going to go with Josh Allen, the defensive player. Why? Because, first of all, defense wins championships, and if I'm playing well, we're going to win a lot of championships, even though we're not in Jacksonville. But I digress on that. It is a... Now, let me put an asterisk by this. It is not easy to play in the NFL at all, but it is easier to play defense than it is an offensive quarterback in any level. I would rather be a NFL safety than a high school quarterback, to be flat out honest, simply just because there is so much stuff happening. And when the Buffalo Bills lose to the Jaguars 9-6, who do we point the blame on? Josh Allen, the quarterback. Not that their offensive line sucked, not that they couldn't run, not that their head coach was calling some dumbass plays on 3rd and 8 that are running the ball. Miami Dolphins, right? But yeah, I mean, it is so much easier to play defense just because when you do great, you are headline news. Hey, Josh Allen got a pick, a fumble and like a sack. We don't know, like the next game or 2 games before that, he missed 5 wide open tackles. We don't know that. We only know when you do well. So give me the defensive side of the ball, Combs, because I do like a little bit of glory in the end, I guess.
Yeah, see, I'm going with Allen, the quarterback. Not only are you going to get the bigger contracts, but you're also going to get more of the glory, especially when you're playing in Buffalo as opposed to Jacksonville. The Buffalo Bills are going to be good for the foreseeable future. They're going to be a contender for the AFC East title every year for the next probably 5 to 10 years. And so I would much rather be Josh Allen, the quarterback. Josh Allen, the defensive end. I mean, he's playing in Jacksonville. It's a graveyard of the NFL. Yeah. It is not a place you want to be being an NFL trying to be a superstar. So give me Josh Allen, the quarterback, all day long. He's probably going to win a Super Bowl in the next 2 to 3 years.
Yeah, and also just to add to your point there, being a quarterback, you do get all the glory, but you also get all the blame too. So it's either extreme high or extreme low. I want to be right in the middle. Topic number 2, Colmsy.
All right. So we're getting into the height of it. I always talk about how much I love baseball, but I also love baseball even in the off season. I love watching free agency. I love watching where the players land. I love seeing how the teams try to get better or what they do. I can't wait to see what the Cubs are going to do this off season. But I'm going to ask you this. Would you rather be a free agent in Major League Baseball or a free agent in the NBA?
Ooh. Wow, that is tough because I feel like Major League Baseball, you get more money in the end, right? You're signing 10, 12-year deals versus the NBA is I think like a 4-year max deal like you can sign. But you're also making that $230 million too. Wow, that is tough. I'm going to go with NBA free agency because you are going to be in the news a lot. You are going to be able to push your Twitters and like all that stuff. Like, hey, follow me on Twitter. Give me up to 5 million followers, right? And the the Major League off season kind of goes by so fast that like the World Series just ended last Friday or whatever, like not even a week ago. We've had the awards and now players are signing with like new teams. Like the season just ended.
I think free agency starts next week.
Yeah, but like I'm going to go with NBA because I feel with like NBA you get more money in a shorter time frame. So give me NBA.
Yeah. So this was kind of a trick question. I thought you were going to go with MLB, so you kind of stole my thunder here a little bit. Major League Baseball, you're definitely going to make more guaranteed dollars, right? And in Major League Baseball, you're definitely going to get the years, especially if you're a superstar. You're going to get Carlos Correa is probably going to get north of $32 million per year, and he's probably going to get that 8 to 10 year contract. That's what Carlos Correa is going to command. But the way the NBA hands out contracts like candy, max deals are like candy in the NBA because of the way that the league is structured. I've seen bench players, I've seen complimentary players get max deals.
Yeah.
Like the water boy for the Bulls, I think is on a max deal right now. So I would definitely rather be a free agent in the NBA because you can get a max deal no matter who you are in the NBA. In Major League Baseball, if you're not the top guy, if you're not the Carlos Correas or the Mike Trouts or the big name guys, you're not going to get those big deals. And so for me, I like to get the most bang for my buck. Hell, I'll sit on the bench for $8 million this season.
Oh hell, I'll sit on the bench for $100 million, right? Or for like not 100 million. I meant 100,000. Although hashtag bench Mahomes is definitely still live on my Twitter.
Oh God,
what's next?
I should throw one out to the fans.
Okay.
It would be like, would you rather? Would you rather post an embarrassing photo of yourself or retweet one of Buck's tweets? That's what I should. So that one's out to the fans. Would you rather post an embarrassing photo of yourself or retweet one of Buck's ridiculous tweets like hashtag bench Mahomes?
Listen.
All right, Buck.
Bench Mahomes is very, very real. Come on. He's playing like ass. Let's just be honest.
You're stupid. All right.
Yeah.
So I ask you this. We've already talked about OBJ. And we haven't really gotten into the Cam Newton one yet, but I'm gonna ask you this: would you rather poison your locker room by signing OBJ or Cam Newton?
Ooh, so Cam Newton went to the Carolina Panthers. He signed a 1-year, $10 million deal because Sam Darnold's on the IR for the rest of the season. Now, here is the issue that I have in Carolina. With that deal that Cam Newton signed, I feel like he is expecting to become a starter there. He is expecting to play a lot, right? But is he? Probably not. I mean, because we don't even know if he can even pick his arm up over his shoulder. Odell Beckham Jr. can at least help us right now, right? Like he can he is not the Odell Beckham Jr. of ever, right? He's been highly overrated his whole NFL career, hands down. But when you win, like the Rams are going to do for the rest of the season, the cancer kind of fades away a little bit. The cancer only starts to show up in Odell Beckham Jr., especially when the team starts to do bad. So I would rather put Odell Beckham Jr. in my locker room because I know I'm going to win this year. We are already playing very, very good. We have a great quarterback. We have a great chemistry. The defense is all-star studded with Von Miller, Aaron Donald, Darius Leonard, right? The list goes on and on and on. So give me Odell Beckham Jr. over Cam Newton because of the winning success that my team already has.
Yeah, I'm going to go with Cam Newton on this one because if you sign Odell Beckham Jr., it's because you're either A, trying to get deeper like the Rams are trying to do, or B, it's because you're bringing him in to be a top wide receiver and a top weapon for your quarterback like the New England Patriots would have been doing or, another team could have been doing. But I'm going to take Cam Newton because you know what? That guy knows he's going to get the ball. That guy knows he's going to be under center. That guy is not going to create havoc for the team after the game. He's not going to throw people under the bus. He's not going to. Cam Newton's always shown that. Cam Newton's always shown that no matter, even if he's bad, he takes the blame and he takes the heat. So Odell Beckham is not that guy. Odell Beckham starts looking for, Baker Mayfield's bedroom in the locker room since he lives on the field during the commercials and stuff. And Odell Beckham becomes a disruption all the way in any way that he can. So I'm going with Cam Newton on this one because Odell Beckham is just a lose-lose situation.
Yeah, I mean, I guess win now, think about it later, right? Maybe next year you can trade him off back to the Browns and send him there to die again. I don't know. Do we have any more?
I got one more. So, I see some of these comments in the chat. Michelle says she can't wait to go to the Blackhawks game. We are going again for Aubrey's birthday. So I commented in there. I know you guys have seen it, but we had our guy, Chance the Rapper, talking about hockey during an award show. And he said, as they say in hockey, let's do that hockey. And nobody says that in hockey. So I don't know where the hell that came from, but let's do that hockey.
Let's do that hockey.
Would you rather be a top goal scorer in the NHL or the best goalie in the NHL?
Well, then this comes back to be, would you rather be a quarterback or a defensive player, right? On this side of things, I want to be the offensive player because the goalie is expected to stop goals. If I let a goal go by me 3 or 4 times like in a game, 9 times out of 10 my team is going to lose. Now, when I'm the goal scorer and I score the hat trick, or the 4-bagger or whatever they call 4 shots like made. I don't. Has anybody ever made 4 goals in a game, Combs? I don't know.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, but like you are all glory. You are amazing. Let's not worry about those 20 other shots that got stopped, right? All I care about is those 3 shots that went through. So give me the goal scorer just because, it's easier to be a goal scorer in hockey than it is goalie because I feel like goalie, Combs, is probably the most difficult position on the whole entire ice because you got to be laser focused all points of the game. Like you can never really take a second off because once you do, that puck can go from glass to glass and be there in a matter of seconds.
Yeah, see, I'm going the opposite here. I would much rather be a goalie. Look, I went to the Blackhawks game a couple weeks ago. Patrick Kane scores a hat trick. It was a great game. Hawks got their first win of the season, and it was just a fun game to be at. And while the offensive part of it was great, the thing that I remember the most was we have Marc-Andre Fleury as a goaltender now, and there was a breakaway for Ottawa, and he made this ridiculous glove save. And to me, that's the flashiness. Me myself, when I play, I'm a goalie too. So I'm I lean more towards the goalies because I that's what I play. I love the goalies, and the unbelievable glove saves, the Dominic Hasek bending over backwards and stopping a puck from a ridiculous angle. The Martin Brodeurs of the world, like. Those are the guys that really, for me, stand out. And I love watching guys like that play. Patrick Waugh, Eddie Belfour back in the day. Those are guys that, for me, that's who I would rather be better than, more than a Patrick Kane, who's probably the greatest, American-born hockey player of all time. So that's just how much that I love watching goalies play. So I would rather be the best goalie in the league.
So you would rather be the reason why your team loses 47 games this
if
year
I'm the
instead
best
of winning.
goalie in the league, we're not losing 47 games, Buck.
How many games are in a hockey season? Is it 82? Like
there's 82. 82. Yeah.
So what is a good ratio in hockey? Is it 60 and 30 or like 500? Because there's a lot of ties, though, right?
No, there's no ties in hockey. You go to shootouts now, you got shootout losses instead of ties. I think a good ratio. I think the best team in the league right now through the first 15 games or so might be like 10-1 or 10-2. 10-2-1. I think I think that's what the Florida Panthers are, which is crazy because they just had big turmoil and had to fire Coach Quenneville because of the whole Blackhawks scandal that they had. But it was I think the best ratios, you're going to see the teams that are 51 and 23-5 or something like that. So
okay, interesting. So as we start talking hockey, Drew starts naming off 6 teams that like he likes on hockey too. Coyotes, Penguins. God. No, I'm totally. He says go Penguins. And then go Coyotes. So there you go.
Wait,
2
what?
teams. What?
It's got one in the East and one in the West. Maybe I can't be. The Coyotes suck.
Where are the Coyotes from?
And you know what? I can't do anything with Pittsburgh. Coyotes are from Arizona, Phoenix.
Okay. Isn't it weird that these warm weather states have hockey? Like Tampa Bay and Phoenix.
No, you know what's funny? So I worked in a lot of collegiate hockey, and I worked for this team, the New England Wolves up in New Hampshire, and they had a goalie who was one of the better goalies I had seen at the collegiate level, and he was actually from Australia. And now you're talking about a warm place. And a weird guy. That's a weird place to have a hockey player from.
Well, if you think about it, Australia is so big that they go from equator to the Antarctic.
Yeah, but but all of Australia is just. It's hot. It's hot in Australia year round.
Yeah, I played in a high school all-star game there one time. 2004, 2003, I can't remember for sure. But we could not go outside after 3 o'clock in the afternoon because it was like 140 degrees.
Look, you were in high school in 2003, 2004?
Yeah, I graduated in 05.
Damn, I was just getting out of the Marine Corps.
Yeah.
Wow.
But yeah, we weren't allowed to go outside because it was so hot. And then the kangaroos would come up into the hotel and use the shade to shade themselves from the hotel. And if you would walk out there, they would steal your food and kick your butt. I guess it was pretty crazy. Huh. Yeah. So fun fact there. But Combs, let's get into some more sports talk here as our time is starting to run away from us here, and we have a new segment coming up. Combs, tell the people about the new segment that's coming up here in about 15 minutes.
Yeah, so the new segment is called Takeaway 22. So for those of you that know me, you know I'm a Marine. You know I'm very active with the Wounded Warrior Project. I'm very active with the Till Valhalla Project. And one of the big things about the Till Valhalla Project is that it's their big thing is the 22 a day. I wear the wristbands. I got 2 wristbands that I wear that say 22 a day. It's 22 veterans a day commit suicide, and that's just it's 22 too many. And so we've got to find a way to be better at treating our veterans when they come back, and making sure that they're taken care of. Not to get too crazy or too political or to offend anybody, but I mean, maybe we should treat them the same way we treat people when they come in from other countries.
Yeah.
And give them housing and give them education and give them vehicles and stuff like that. Help them through those times instead of just medicating our troops when they come home and sending them about their way. So we're going to do the Takeaway 22 segment. So we're going to come up with this time we're going to do games. We're going to do game takes. And each one of us is going to take 22 seconds to say why we think a team is going to win. At the end of the 22 seconds, we will move on to the next person or the next game. And then at the end of the segment, we're going to take 22 seconds of silence. And this is all to, just for, to remember those who have taken their own lives after, being out of the military. And it's just something that we have to come together and try to figure out a way to fight this. So if this is something that you want to be a part of, I definitely recommend going to tvp.com, which is Till Valhalla Project, and just checking out what they do. $30 a month. They'll send you a free t-shirt every month. They send you wristbands. They send you all sorts of stuff. But more importantly, when you get your package, you get a magazine, right? And in the magazine, they show what the money goes towards. And that money goes towards getting headstones and getting plaques made for families of veterans who have committed suicide or veterans who have not made it home from overseas and who have died at war. And it shows you the names and the stories of the veteran who has, passed away. And it shows you the photos and everything of their family members receiving the stuff that our money goes towards. So Till Valhalla Project is what it's called. I highly recommend going to check it out. I'm working with them now to sponsor the segment. We'll see how far that goes, but it's definitely something that is near and dear to my heart, and something that I want to get more and more people, as many people as we can, to go ahead and get in on this.
Yeah, guys. So this will be a new segment that we're going to do every Thursday here. So just to end the week out right on a on this just like on this note. So that'll be coming up here in about 15 minutes. But what has also been near and dear to our heart, well, not our heart, but like on our minds here lately, has been the whole Henry Ruggs saga, Combs, right? So we know by now he killed a woman and her dog when he was double the legal limit with a loaded gun in his car driving 156 miles an hour. What we don't know is everything that is starting to come out here. And Henry Ruggs' lawyer is blaming the fire department of the Las Vegas for showing up too late and too slow to put out the fire, and that's why the woman died. So the lawyer is basically trying to get Henry Ruggs off on this technicality because the fire department was too slow. Combs, what the hell?
Look, man, I know it is a lawyer's obligation and a lawyer's duty to do everything he can to get his client off of charges that are up against him. And I just wonder how some of these people sleep at night when you can go and you can say, oh, well, this was the fault of the fire department for being too slow to respond and not getting there on time to save her life. Your client was double the legal limit of his BAC. He was doing 156 miles a freaking hour, and he slammed into this woman. And then you're hearing stuff like she was heard screaming through the pain. She was still very much alert and awake while she was on fire and losing her life in this wreck. That, I mean, to sit there and try to have a defense for this, to sit there and try to not have this man own up to his mistakes is just, I just don't get it. And to be honest with you, I have zero respect. Look, I love David Carr, and I love him coming out and saying, you know, look, right now he made a mistake and he needs to have somebody in his corner. You know what? Absolutely. He needs to have somebody in his corner. He needs to have family. He's about to go through a very tough time in prison, but that's where he belongs, is in prison. And if Henry Ruggs is any type of human being or any type of man, he is not going to fight this. He is going to plead guilty, and he is going to accept his sentence because he is guilty and he needs to accept his sentence. Does that mean he doesn't deserve to have somebody in his corner? Absolutely not. He certainly does deserve to have his family still love him. He does deserve to have his friends still support him from behind bars. But what he does not deserve is the opportunity to try to lessen his sentence or the opportunity to walk away from this thing. That he does not deserve. And for that, like, I just don't understand how he can live with himself, how his lawyer can even sleep at night after coming up with such nonsense is beyond me.
Yeah, so I read the article, and witnesses say once the fire department got there, they didn't try to extinguish the fire for 20 minutes after they got there. So I'm no fire department or a fireman by any means, but I do know that there are different types of ways to extinguish fires. Now, this was a gas car fire. You just don't spray water on it, right? Like you probably got to use some type of foam or something to contain it, because when you spray water on the fire, it's going to move the fumes from the gas or whatever, right?
And at that, I'm pretty sure the fire department did not show up and be like, oh, you know what, we can let that burn.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure that there's a reason why because look, I've seen firefighters in action. I've known plenty of firefighters. I was a volunteer firefighter myself. Their job and what they want to do is help everybody and anybody they can and risk their lives to do so. So for anybody to question their actions, I'm sure that there is a very good reason why they handled it the way that they did.
Yeah. So also on the flip side of that, those two witnesses that we saw on the side of the street corner when like all those pictures were like there, they said that they tried to extinguish the flames with a fire extinguisher. They said it was too hot for them to even get close. Now, as I know, people say they heard her screaming. Well, let's be honest, guys. The way that car looks, how hot it was, how much engulfed it was, she was dead probably within a minute or two once the fire got engulfed.
But it could be too that you thought you heard screaming. I mean, that could have been anything. It could have been air coming out of the fire. It could have been air through it could have been anything. You could have been hearing the engine on fire and the whistling in between the pistons of the engine. There's all sorts of explanation. It might not have even been the screaming that you heard, but regardless of the situation, to try to blame the fire department for this accident and for her loss of life is just stupid.
So Combs, what do you think the angle is that they're trying to do here? Like, if the fire department would have got there faster and put it out faster, she would still be alive, so we don't be facing a DUI charge. Like, it doesn't matter. It is like, oh, this person got shot, and it took the EMS guys 20 minutes to get the person to the hospital. That's why they died. No, you still get charged for a murder, like either way, no matter how long it took them.
Yeah, and regardless, I mean, you're talking like, I mean, you were twice the legal limit, BAC. You were doing 156 miles an hour, which I don't care what road you are on. I don't care if you were on the highway. You're at least doing 90 miles an hour over the speed limit, even if the speed limit was 70. But since you're on a city road at the time, you're probably doing closer to 120 over the speed limit.
Yeah.
I mean, that's like, look, I'm a fast driver, Buck. I'm not gonna lie. Like, I've got the Allstate thing on my car that tracks where you go and whether or not you're a safe driver. All my lines are in red because I don't follow the speed limit. I'm on the highway. I do 80 and a 60. I do 85 to 90 when the speed limit is 70, but not 160 miles an hour in a 35. Not 160 miles an hour even on the highway. It's stupid. It's stupid. Yeah. And what he did was stupid. Was it a mistake? Sure. But you know what? It was a calculated mistake where he had all the options in the world to not be in that vehicle at that time. So to try to defend this man and say that he is not at fault, it's just, it boggles my mind, and is probably half of the reason why this generation is the way that it is.
Yeah. So, I was talking with the guy at work. He is an ex-law enforcement guy. He said even if he wasn't drunk, him driving 156 miles an hour, killing a person, that's still a federal crime and minimum 20 years in jail. So,
yes,
not minimum, maximum. I'm sorry.
This man deserves to lose his career. He deserves to go to prison pretty much for the rest of his life. But if they're only going to give him 20 to 40 years, that's fine. Let him get out of prison and let him learn what it's like to try to find a job with a record like this. It's not going to be easy. He deserves to struggle for the rest of his life, and that's what he's going to have. Does he deserve to have support by his family? Absolutely, 110%. We all make mistakes, Buck. We all make mistakes. I've made some stupid mistakes in my life, but we all deserve a second chance. We all deserve to have family in our corner. But what he does not deserve to do is ever attempt to make millions and millions of dollars again in the NFL. What he does not deserve is the opportunity to be found not guilty for this crime.
Absolutely, 100% correct, guys. We are going to take a quick little break. On the other side of the break, we got the newest segment here on Man Hour. So stay tuned, sit back, relax, enjoy this quick little break.
welcome back, Man Hour Nation. It's your boy Brandon Combs, Beastie, along with Michael Buckheister. We are back for the new segment. It's called Takeaway 22. And Takeaway 22 is geared towards the 22 a day brought forward by the Valhalla Project. 22 veterans a day commit suicide, raising awareness for that. 22 too many. And so we are going to bring awareness to it as well every week here on the Man Hour. Buck, you ready to get this new segment kicked off?
Yes, sir. I am always ready, brother.
All right, so 22 seconds each. You're going to start here. We got the New Orleans Saints versus the Tennessee Titans. Tell me why the New Orleans Saints are going to win this game.
The New Orleans Saints are going to win this game, Combs, simply because the Tennessee Titans do not have King Henry, and they are complete dog trash without King Henry. Yes, they won last week versus the Rams. That was a complete fluke, but I have faith in Trevor Siemian. I have faith in Alvin Kamara. Give me the Saints in this one, hands down.
Yeah, I don't know what the hell you're looking at, but the Tennessee Titans just went out and rolled the Los Angeles Rams after losing King Henry. They've still got Adrian Peterson coming up. They've got A.J. Brown. They've got Julio Jones, Chester Rogers. And Ryan Tannehill isn't playing as bad as I thought he would. Ryan Tannehill is not the same Ryan Tannehill that he was when he was in Miami. Give me the Tennessee Titans.
Okay. Whatever you say, you're wrong.
All right, Buck. We've got the Arizona Cardinals, the team that you love to hate, versus the Carolina Panthers. Tell me why the Carolina Panthers are going to win this game.
You know what, Combs? I don't need 22 seconds for this one. Do you know why? They got Cam freaking Newton, baby. They got Cam Newton. Give that man the ball. Superman's back. He is going to rip that S out. He's going to be going to that end zone many, many times against this terrible Arizona Cardinals run defense. Cam Newton's the only reason why I need Combs.
Yeah, you're out of your mind again. Look, the Arizona Cardinals are the best team in the NFL. They've proved it week in and week out so far throughout this season. They're going to prove it again against Cam Newton and the Carolina Panthers. Cam Newton's probably going to be the reason why Carolina loses this game. The Arizona Cardinals defense will be the reason why they win this game. The Arizona Cardinals all day long.
I do like that pick, though. Arizona Cardinals all day.
All right, so now we've got the Seattle Seahawks versus the Green Bay Packers. Buck, why are the Green Bay Packers going to win this game?
Well, Combs, Aaron freaking Rodgers, that's why. Aaron freaking Rodgers is back. He is back. He is live, and he is ready to light up the struggling Seattle Seahawks. Russell Wilson is going to be back. Dak Wilson missed just one game. He's missed like three weeks. He's going to be terrible. That Packers defense is amazing right now, and they're going to run the ball. Aaron freaking Rodgers, baby. Go Pack, go.
Yeah, so that's why I think the Seattle Seahawks are going to win this game. They're going to be riding on the hive to have Russell Wilson back. I know that the Green Bay Packers are getting Aaron Rodgers back, but I think Russell Wilson is just the heart and soul of this team. And with the way that Rodgers handled his debacle, I think that might have put off some of his teammates. So I'm going to go with the Seattle Seahawks in this one. So last but not least, well, actually, no, sorry. We've got two more. Let's go with the Kansas City Chiefs versus the Las Vegas Raiders. Bucks, why are your Kansas City Chiefs going to win this game?
They're going to win because they had that momentum happening from last week. Yes, it was an ugly, 13-6 win over the Green Bay Packers, but the defense played well. Yes, I know it was against Jordan Love and whatnot, but the defense still played well. Patrick Mahomes played like dog crap. I know, but a win's a win, and the momentum is in their favor. That's why they're going to win.
Yeah, look, the Las Vegas Raiders are coming off a bad loss versus the New York Giants in New Jersey, and they always play the Kansas City Chiefs tough, and they're hungry. They want to get out there. They want to keep the Kansas City Chiefs down. They want a shot at winning this AFC West crown for a change. So I'm going to go with the Las Vegas Raiders here. So, Buck, last but not least, we've got the Jacksonville Jaguars, fresh off a win over the Buffalo Bills versus the Indianapolis Colts. Buck, tell me how in God's green earth the Jacksonville Jaguars could possibly win 2 in a row.
They can win 2 in a row because Trevor Lawrence will is questionable. They got CJ Beathard as their backup quarterback, and if he is in there, Combs, they're going to win this game over the Indianapolis Colts. The Colts have been playing down to the competition all year. They'll play down to the Jags, and that's why they're going to win, because Trevor Lawrence won't be in this game.
Well, the Indianapolis Colts are going to win this game because it's the Jacksonville Jaguars, and they're incapable of winning back-to-back games. I don't even need 22 seconds for the segment. It's the Indianapolis Colts. They've looked a lot better over the last couple of weeks. It's the Jacksonville Jaguars. They're still the Jacksonville Jaguars, and their head coach is probably at a strip club right now dancing and grinding with some girl. So, Indianapolis Colts.
That's why they're going to win.
All right, Buck. So, again, this was the takeaway 22 segment. 22 veterans a day commit suicide. That's 22 too many. It's something we want to bring awareness to. It is also Veterans Day. So I think, everybody out there that is a veteran for their service, for me, and I always try to talk about this without being too emotional. But for the ones who never made it home, for the friends that we lost overseas, for those who paid the ultimate sacrifice, they get Memorial Day as well. But to me, they also get Veterans Day because look, their families are struggling. It's hard for them to deal with this loss and this day every year. And then to the 22 veterans a day that are committing suicide, look, I can't stress this enough, that if you are struggling with your demons, you are not alone in the fight. You've got phone numbers, you've got ways to be helped. There are hotlines. Hell, yeah, I'll put my phone number out there for any veteran that is struggling, for any veteran that is dealing with PTSD, for any veteran that is struggling with their demons. Make a phone call, because you know what? There are plenty of people in this world that love you, and we would do anything that we could to see you succeed. So if you're struggling, reach out, do what you got to do. One of my traditions here, Buck, is to do a shot on Veterans Day. We always would get together at the local bar, the local tavern, and we would do a shot for all of our friends who never made it home. So I've got the bottle of Don Julio here. I'm going to pour myself a quick shot here. And Buck, will you join me in a toast? And anybody who's watching at home, if you've got your drink with you, you've got your beer, your soda, your pop, your whatever, feel free to raise a glass to toast to all of our veterans, those who are still with us, and especially those who are not, till Valhalla. And now, 22 seconds of silence to end the segment. All right, guys. Thank you guys for all those out there that joined in on that. I appreciate it. And there are a lot of people out there that have lost family members, even far after. We deal with a lot of stuff when we're in the military. You deal with war, you deal with going overseas, you deal with missing your family, and you see a lot of stuff that you just shouldn't see. And you see it at a really young age too. And so it's hard to cope with. And then they come back, and our VA has to do a better job of not just pushing medication on our troops and not just telling them that it's something that they have to deal with. We've got to be able to find a way to give them coping mechanisms. We have to find a way to talk them through it, to allow them to be able to handle the things that they saw. Not everybody is built the same way. Not everybody can handle everything that they've been through. So, if you're struggling, if you've got depression, if you've got PTSD, if you've got anything, and this isn't just for veterans, it's for people in general, if you've got anything that is just hurting you so bad that you just need to end your life, give somebody the opportunity to stop you from doing so. Give somebody the opportunity to talk to you. Give somebody the opportunity to help you through what you're struggling with, because I promise you there is somebody that can. And we would much rather hear about your story at 3 a.m. than to have to go to your funeral at 8 a.m. Plain and simple.
Yeah, you are exactly right, Combs. Just so from experience from my side of things, it does not make you less of a person or less of a man to admit that you need some type of help. So, I mean, ever since my family member decided that he needed some help, life has changed a lot. So never be afraid to admit that you need some help. So it does not make you less of a person. Just sometimes you need that venting mechanism, whether it's us, them, wife, dog, cat, it doesn't matter. Vent, let it out. So Combs, let's get back onto some sports talk here. And every Thursday we are going to start to end the show here with mean comments, and there have been a lot of mean comments rolling through here. I have 500 that I haven't even answered yet here at youtube.com/man hour. And so, ready to go through some mean comments, Combs? Most of these are directed towards me, so I'm ready.
Let's do it.
I love it. So Patrick Sweeney says, so this is from our Mac Jones is a dirty player clip. Did you see or hear what Mac Jones did to Brian Burns for the Carolina Panthers last week?
No.
So Mac Jones got sacked and he fumbled the ball, and Burns was going after the ball. Mac Jones grabs his ankle and rolls up on it. Rolls it up so hard that Burns had to leave the game, was carted off of the field. So I basically said that Mac Jones was a dirty player in the end. So Patrick Steele says that you mean, Mac, say you're sorry. You're a big mean man, as he cries. Other teams won't take cheap shots and get 15-yard penalties. They are mad that Mac is good, and they probably also called Brady dirty. Cry babies cry. That's why the NFL is so soft. Do you agree with that comment, Combs, at all?
You know, I do and I don't. I look, I've seen some stuff. Like I watched Justin Fields get his head taken off 3 times.
Dirty plays there. Dirty plays
after the ball. Yeah, and flags don't get thrown. I mean, look, Mac Jones went in. He went for a tackle. Yes, he rolled it up, or yes, he did whatever. But he was trying to make a play. And you know, do I think he's a dirty player? Probably not. I mean, if it becomes consistent, if it's something that he's continuously doing, then sure. But it's not that. I mean, I'm not going to name him Ndamukong Suh 2.0 just yet.
Sue was, once Sue talked to somebody, he was good, right? This next comment, it is on the Colt McCoy is better than Kyler Murray take that I did. And then Joseph Lyons says that this guy is crazy. Kyler runs a 4.28 or a 3.0. He got selected in the Major League and NFL first round in both. He has completed 70% of his passes since high school, college, and NFL. Every pass, not just screen passes. Playmakers take them into big yards, and that's literally what all Cliff Kingsbury and Colt McCoy had to do versus the 49ers. So I'm not for sure if that's a mean comment or kind of a contradicting comment a little bit. I don't know. That's kind of a weird comment.
I mean, the fact that you said that Colt McCoy is better than Kyler Murray is I mean, you deserve any hate you get for something stupid like that. I mean, this man is completing 72.7% of his passes, and you're sitting here telling me that Colt McCoy is better than this man?
Yeah,
you are out of your freaking mind. I don't understand what the hell you are talking about.
So I can tell you what we're talking about is Dylan Patterson brought up the question and I answered it, and then he comes out and says, and that Colt McCoy is better than Kyler Murray clip. He says, holy brain damage. So
Yeah.
shout out.
I mean, I would
shout out to
agree.
them. And then he says on the so this is geared toward Tori because Tori also is on the Arizona Cardinals bandwagon, bandwagon here, and he says that the Arizona Cardinals have quarterback
this is the guy who's
issues.
not the Washington, not Redskins anymore. We're going to destroy the NFC East.
Yeah, and David Romeo says this guy is slow. Yeah, I mean,
Tori?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, Tori is kind of slow. I mean, we know this. I mean, he by the time we get ready for shows, he hops on about 5 minutes prior, and he's slow.
Yeah, and then Boost Media 23 says block these clowns. Takes they are beyond bias and kind of embarrassing. I guess this is what 49er fans do. I'm not a 49ers fans.
Wow.
F the 49ers.
I mean, look, that's what 49ers fans do. Look, this is what you and Tori get for talking this trash while I'm away. You know, like, what are you guys trying to do? Like, you're trying to get people to hate us?
Yeah. I mean, hate is a good thing here. And then Todd Miller says, so this is kind of toward you. I said the Arizona Cardinals, or no. I said that Kyler Murray was going to be a bust, and Todd Miller says I think Combs is bucking Buck. Not for sure what that means, but okay.
I don't know. I'm for the Arizona Cardinals. I picked them to be 15-2 this year, so maybe you're just not listening to my takes. I'm not sure what's going on, but what was the guy who tweeted at us? Didn't somebody tweet at us? Tweet the show, say we have the worst radio show in the history of radio shows or something?
Yeah, definitely. It was much love. Well, what to get that tweet there.
What's funny is that he's listening.
Yeah. Thanks for listening, man. Thanks for everybody that's listening right now, right? And the one last mean comment, but this is a love comment, Combs. So this is a comment from the video saying that the Arizona Cardinals cracks are starting to show up and they're failing as a team, and Rajanlo Romas, I messed that up name really bad, and he says, here's why I totally agree with you Buck. Week number 1, the Titans just had a bad game. Week number 2, the Vikings missed a field goal. Week 3, the Jaguars simply blew a lead. Week 4, Sean McVay had a tummy ache. Week 5, 49ers got drugged by a spy. Week 6, the Browns had food poisoning. Week 7, the Cardinals were cheating. Week 8, God answered the prayers of some salty haters. Week 9, the Cardinals just got lucky.
That's not love, Buck. He's making fun of you.
I know.
I mean, look, I don't understand anybody who I don't understand where you and Tori are coming from with all the hate on an 8-1 team.
Yeah.
I don't understand where you guys are coming from with all the hate with a team that is scoring the way they are scoring, with a team whose defense is stopping teams from scoring the way their defense has stopped teams from scoring. Like, this team is ridiculously good, and you guys are missing the bus. And not only that, but you guys are talking about how bad the Cardinals are, but you thought that the Lions were going to be great, and Tori thought the Washington, not Redskins anymore, were going to be great. And look at you guys now.
Yeah, look at us now. We got Supas commenting here. He says, best team in the NFC, period. Arizona Cardinals.
It's true. It's
and,
true.
And then he says Tyrod Taylor is a Hall of Fame quarterback. Weird. I don't know.
I like it. And Alpha Rob comes into the comments right now and says, don't worry, guys. You're one of the best sports shows out there. Thank you, Alpha Rob. Appreciate that. Thanks for coming and joining us when we are on. What you guys got to do when I'm off, when I can't make it on the show, what you've got to do is just watch a replay of a previous show that I was on,
your mouth, boy.
and you won't be so angry.
Well, with that being said, this is the last show of the week. We will be back Sunday, 8 p.m. East Coast time. I will be off because Sundays are my off off days, I got to be a stay-at-home dad on Sundays, apparently, because the city has to work, make all the money, but whatever.
Sorry, me and Soup Boss got you.
Yeah, Combs, send us out, big guy.
Man Hour Nation, happy Veterans Day. Rise up.
Here's a comment for Odie Combs. How stupid are you guys? He's been scrambling very little this year. You guys must not want